the functionality in the new optional feature pack that allows you to export data to Excel, ASCII files, or any custom format that you want. So you can see here that we have a simple grid that's based on the Northwinds customer table, and what I'm going to do now is go to Properties, and if I scroll down now to Record Navigator Grid Toolbar section, you'll see that if you have the feature pack installed, there's going to be a new property here called Export to Excel, and when I turn that on, I get two new properties which allow me to customize the icon and also the bubble help. So let's go ahead now and do a live preview, and click the button over here. You can see there's 92 records in this grid. So when I click the button, basically the server creates the Excel file and then downloads it to the client, and then if I go ahead here and choose open, the data gets opened, and here are my 92 rows in the grid, in the Excel file. So now let's go back here and add in a search part. So let's go now to fields, and let's go to say country and city, and save that, and now go to live preview, and let's now go say to country, and we'll type in say UK, run a search. Now there are 7 records in my current selection, and then if I click the download icon, basically you can see that we only downloaded the records in the current grid selection. So this is one of the ways in which the functionality of the new feature pack is exposed, by just putting this button directly in the toolbar. But in addition, you can create more customized export operations by using Action JavaScript. So let's go now back to fields over here, and let's go ahead now and insert a new button which I'll label export, and then click on the builder, and which opens up our Action JavaScript window, and then let's go ahead now and add a new action, and you can see that if you have the feature pack installed, there'll be a new action called export to Excel or ASCII. So we'll go ahead here and choose that, and now you can see there's a lot more options that are available to you to create a customized export feature. So your export type can be set to Excel, comma delimited ASCII, tab delimited ASCII, or custom. Custom is very powerful. That lets you basically call an XBasic function that gets as its input the result set or table that the export is based on, and you can write your own XBasic function that creates the export file that you want to create. So right now we'll just stick with Excel. Then the source for the export can basically be all the fields in the grid, all the fields in the grid query. So the fields in the grid query might be different than the fields in the grid component, because for example you might be basing a grid just say on the customer table, which might have say 50 fields, but you may have only chosen 20 of those fields to appear on the grid. So that's the difference between those two options. Selected fields in the grid query lets you choose which fields you'd like to export, so that can be fewer or more fields than appear in the grid itself. So you have a lot of flexibility there. And then finally, custom lets you export data from another table that might be related in some way to the current grid. So for example, I might be looking at a grid on invoice headers, and I want to press a button that's going to export all of the line items for a given invoice. So let's pause the video now and pick it up in the next segment.